In last week's episode, we turned into Dortmund-Ems Canal on our way south through Germany. And we made a stop in Münster for some city life. I also got reached by the bad news that the canals on our planned route were closed due to lack of water resources. I don't see any solution to our route to Med. We're still considering what to do. And we made a choice to turn towards Holland in order to have more options. We are approaching soon on the way where we have to make the choice on which way we will go on Rhein, and we will turn towards Holland. In this week's episode we reach Holland, where we make a stop to try to figure out a new route to the Mediterranean. Wissel is the entrance to Rhein coming our way. From the river promenade we could overlook the much wider water, where the barges and ships now got larger, and we were about to have significant current for the first time. This is our last morning in Germany, and also the last morning here for Johan, so we're gonna walk him to the train station soon. But first a little bit of breakfast, so we had some fresh bake off with done in the oven, so it's gonna be nice. We are about to leave Germany for Holland. So I took my chance to get a haircut before we left Germany, and I've found this our Dutch flag. So we're gonna hoist it soon. We are gonna drive alongside the border between Germany and Holland now. So the border is in the middle of Rhine for quite a while, and I guess it's polite to have the German flag up until we actually cross into Holland. And after we cross into Holland, it's not very far to our planned destination for today. It's sort of a lake that goes inside on the right side. I'm a little bit confused. I think it's like on the left bank side, but on the right side or something like that. But yeah, we look forward to it. It seems like a yacht club or a holiday place, so we guess it's not going to be that rural, and I guess that's also what to expect when we're entering Holland, that it's going to be a lot more people and boats everywhere because it's much more crowded. It's many people, many persons on a much smaller land area, so it's going to be interesting to see if there is any significant differences between these countries. One thing I do believe and actually hope for is that it's more common that people speak good English.
Welcome to Holland! As you see, we have short weather. It's sunny and nice.
It just came a massive rain weather, like from nowhere. It's in the weather forecast it says no rain for the rest of the day, but it's just like pouring rain, and we can see like the bright sky in front of us. So I guess it's going to be really, really short, but everything gets super wet in like 10 minutes. And I'm happy because I got to sit here, and Gunnar is steering at the moment, so it's no use for us both to get wet. As we entered Rhine, the landscape changed, and the riversides now were full of sandbanks. And once in a while we could see herds of horses alongside. The cities we passed no longer had docking spots available, so stops could no longer be made that spontaneous. Our first intended stop in Holland did not go too good for us. It was a really narrow channel. We were supposed to go into a lake, and the depth area was 2 to 3 meters, but we ran aground where it was the most narrow part, so we just stood completely still and got stuck, and then we got off, and we thought that was just like coincidence because of it's a sand bottom, so we continued a little bit more, and then we got really stuck again. So we managed to turn around, but now we have to continue, and there is not a lot of good places to choose from to find somewhere at all to tie up tonight at Rhein. So we hope to find we think it's more like an industrial port in Nijmegen. There are 2 ports apparently on the chart, but it looks like it's really big ships in both of them. So we googled a little, and some people said that one of them is like the only place to tie up with a sport boat in this town. And we also need to stop because we need to consider where to go from here, because our original plan is like a little bit off since it's too shallow. So we hope we will get a spot there, and otherwise we really don't know.
The current of Rhine increased our speed with almost 3 knots, and as we continued, the waves and swell got larger.
It's a little stressful with the waves or the swell that comes, because last time we had a really big swell, the mast started to move a little, so now we fixed it more, but we didn't expect this much waves on the rivers. We finally made it to Nijmegen. Dutch language is a bit hard to understand how to pronounce, but I think Nijmegen. And it was actually a pleasant surprise, because that was like our last shot to get some place to stay tonight, and it seems super cozy. A lot of old ships and people everywhere, and I think some bars up on the hill, so we're gonna take a little walk, but we didn't have any lunch today, so first food. How is the Saturday dinner tasting?
Oh, it's an excellent meal. It's salmon. What do you call it? Squash?
Yep.
Yeah.
Tilda looked really small alongside the other ships, but we were so thankful a nice boat neighbor waved us in, since the sport boat dock was completely full when we arrived. Some places just has a very cool vibe, and we found one of those spots right under the bridge next to our dock. And later on we got live music that reached all the way to our cockpit. After some thoughts, we decided to follow our original plan to go on Maas towards Namur in Belgium, and then make a new choice, since we from there would be able to turn west instead of south.
Now we're entering Maas River, leaving the Maas canal behind. We're a little bit curious to see what kind of current, we have current against us, so that we know, but how much it was going to be. We think about maybe 1 knot, hope not more, but at least it's going to be way softer than on Rhine, so, and it's low water this year, so I guess if we are lucky, only like half a knot. going into a shallow part, or most of the harbors alongside the river here is kind of shallow. So it says 2.3 meters in the chart. That's what it said when we ran aground too. So a little bit nervous, but we hope we're doing better today. And it's too deep to anchor outside of it. Here is like between 11 and 18 meters, and we also think it's going to come a lot of big barges here tonight, so that's not a good option. So we're going to have a look, and if it doesn't seem to work here, we have to continue, and hopefully we don't get stuck. Oh no. We did find a really cozy place, but we also start to see a lot of the vegetation in the water. So we, for a while, thought we could find a place where we would like to swim, but I'm going to show you. This is what it looks like in the water now.
This yacht club was one of the most friendly places so far, and they invited us to the evening coffee at the clubhouse, where they told us about the flooding that had been last year, that reached 4 meters and got all the way into the clubhouse.
Good morning and welcome to a beautiful morning here in Holland. We are up a bit late today, and we're gonna start the day with the task instead of getting onto the canals, because the water in the water tank has started to taste a little bit less good for a while now. So we're gonna open the water tank and see if there is, I guess there is something growing in it. And I never opened a tank on this boat before, so I don't know how much work it's gonna be, but I figure like I can't wait anymore, so it's better to get it done. And because now we can use the water. I don't think it's bad, it's just like not so tasteful, and I think it's because I filled up like quite a while ago, like in the end of last summer, I filled up with water that didn't taste good in Strömstad in Sweden, and I've gotten problem ever since. So I guess there was something that was not so good with that. And then I done like the tank cleaning, like with the like tablets that you put into, and like water cleaning and stuff like that, but it doesn't really help. You can for like a short while get the water to taste good, but then it's back to some sort of earthy taste. So that's what we're gonna do now. All the screws are off, and I'm just gonna try to see if I can get it up. So nice to finally have good tasting drinking water again. It was quite a work to clean the tank, but definitely worth it. Yeah, it tastes nothing, just like water should do.
I want to deeply thank my Patreons for supporting the making of these episodes, and if you want to contribute, you can also become a Patreon or buy me a coffee at the links below. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you appreciated this episode, please give it a big thumbs up.